The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Monday morning. Anyway, it's me and Carol hanging in here by ourselves today. So good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Anyway, yeah, no interest groups tonight. It's that technically second Monday, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we moving forward, right?
Right.
But anyway, like I said, no interest groups tonight. You know, you had a good weekend, Carol?
I did. Hung out with a couple of friends, got a chance to enjoy a little bit of this beautiful weather. I mean, even though I'm 2 hours up from you, 11 o'clock here, it's 74 degrees, man. It's beautiful. I've been just enjoying this beautiful weather. I can't wait for fall to just come on through.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting on it too, so I can get rid of some of this heat.
Right. And the funny thing about it is people don't realize when you can't see, you still can feel heat. I don't have to see the sun to know it's hot out there.
And also, I mean, you know, because spending a lot of time out in the sun in my life, you know, I mean, I basically grew up down on Venice Beach. So then, you know, working outside, doing construction work, driving trucks, just a lot of different stuff where I was always outside. So my skin is now taking a toll.
Right.
I should say it's taking a toll on my skin.
Got that? Well, do you burn easy?
Well, I mean, I've always burnt, you know, but again, it's not, you know, when I was younger, I didn't burn at all. I mean, I just tan.
Right.
As I got older, I burned, but because of it, well, I mean, keeping it 100, I got skin cancer. You know what I'm saying? Thank God it's not, you know, life-threatening, but
of course,
you know, I got to keep on with the dermatologist and stay on top of the spots and stuff so they can keep working on them. Got creams and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, now the sun is not my friend.
No, under those circumstances, definitely not, I'm sure.
I do my best to stay out of it. So, you know, I mean, most of the time I'm in the sun now is when I'm, you know, not necessarily it has to do with this first article, but it's kind of related to this first article, which is, you know, basically doing public transportation. So this first article is another thing. You know, the other day we were talking about how the Washington finally got off their butts and did something about the, you know, kids and needing their equipment and, you know, minimizing the process that they have to go through to get the help they need, to get the equipment and stuff they need. Well, this one is, looks like they done got off their butt again, and now they're doing something about transit systems. And I mean, you know, especially transit centers, just put it that way. So anyway, let's check this out, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Hey, Blind United crew, grab your first cup as the Coffee Time crew gets into this first article. A new era for accessibility. Federal standards now required in public spaces. In a major win for disability rights and inclusive infrastructure, the U.S. Department of Transportation has officially adopted the Public Rights-of-Way Accessibility Guidelines, PROAG, a long-awaited move that will reshape sidewalks, crosswalks, transit stops, and other public spaces across the country. For decades, blind and visually impaired individuals have faced barriers in navigating everyday environments. Uneven sidewalks, missing curb ramps, and inaccessible pedestrian signals have made independent travel not only difficult, but dangerous. With PROAG now in effect, Those barriers are no longer acceptable. The guidelines require that all newly constructed or altered public rights-of-way, including sidewalks, street crossings, and transit stops, meet specific accessibility standards. These include tactile warnings at curb ramps, accessible pedestrian signals with audible and vibrotactile features, and clear, unobstructed paths of travel. This change is more than regulatory, it's transformational. Cities and counties will now be held accountable for ensuring that their infrastructure supports safe and independent mobility for people with disabilities. For the blind and visually impaired community, this means fewer hazards and more freedom. Advocates have fought for Prague for over 2 decades, and its adoption signals a shift toward equity in public planning. It also aligns with the broader goals of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, reinforcing that accessibility is not optional, it's a civil right. As municipalities begin to implement these standards, community members are encouraged to stay informed and involved. Local advocacy can help ensure that changes are made thoughtfully and effectively, with input from those most affected. Whether you're navigating with a cane, a guide dog, or simply walking alongside someone who does, these new standards promise a safer, more inclusive future for all. What are your thoughts on this long overdue change? Have you seen accessibility improvements in your area? Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, no, I haven't seen any changes yet. I mean, again, they can get kind of crazy. I mean, I do a lot of the train out here, the Metrolink train, and each Metrolink station is actually under the jurisdiction of the city that it's in. So, I mean, again, that causes a lot of, what are you going to, I call it havoc, disorientation, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because not every station is the same. Every station is actually different from one another, right? So, I mean, until you've actually mapped out each and every one of them, they're not really friendly.
Right, right.
And then even the transit center out here on my end where the train stops, right? I get off a stop before because the transit center, which is relatively new, I think it's maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 years old now at least. But bottom line, it's like a U or a circle or whatever. But to get to the train, you actually got to walk through the bus transit center, and on on the one end, it's the buses are right there. I mean, it ain't no audible signal, ain't nothing to let me know. I mean, again, we got to depend on our ears or whatever, and then there's no direct path per se to the train. Once you get past the buses, I mean, a lot of these buses, I mean, you would hope they be paying attention, but again, because they're trying to stay on their schedule, I mean, how do you know what bus is at what location in there? You know what I'm saying? These kind of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't all stop in one spot. I mean, yeah, you say one spot because it's a transit center, but around that circle, around that U, is different stops, and you got to know which one that your bus stops on. Or let's say you come in on one of the buses, you got to get off of that bus and figure out where your connecting bus is. It's just a lot of, they don't understand it. They really don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's another part of what we try to do is create that awareness. So anyway, how do you still use public transportation out there, Carol? Have you noticed any changes out there with you yet?
I have not noticed any changes, but I have not ridden it for quite some time. And that's just due to what you were just saying. Things are just complicated. They're not accessible for visually impaired individuals. Now, they make them very comfortable for individuals who are in wheelchairs. The sidewalks are accessible. They have ramps to get you on the buses and the train. But for someone who's visual, like there's a train station right up from me. I could go there and travel any place, but there's no audible signal. The way that it's set up, it's there's a bus stop right across from the transit center. And the bus, there may be maybe 6 of them that come there. But you don't know what buses come there unless you're planning a trip that you've got to walk to or whatever it is. But I actually called to try to get an audible signal right there. And what they ended up doing is a block up from it is a main street. That's where they put the audible signal. That's not where I wanted it, because where you have to cross the street, you can't hear the cars until they're right there up on you. And so I have to just kind of follow when I hear individuals crossing the street, I cross with them in order to go down a few steps to get on the platform for the train. But that's dangerous. If
Yeah.
nobody's there, I have no way of knowing when to cross. But they didn't put the audible signal there. So no, I don't take that. I would rather just take an Uber or use my paratransit, because they can come directly to my home and take me where I need to go. If they made it more accessible and friendlier for me, I would take it, because it's actually free. And who doesn't like free? So, but it's just not comfortable for me or safe for me to take it, not by myself.
Well, I mean, I hear you. I mean, again, it's, I mean, I, that's another reason, like I said, the Metrolink station that I go to,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it actually used to be the end of the line, okay, until they built that transit center,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually just on the other side of the freeway. So there's one freeway goes north and south, so I'm west of where I get on is west of the freeway. The transit center is east of the freeway. So, I mean, you can actually walk from one to the other.
Wow.
That's close they really are, But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it's just because of the havoc up in that station. I go to this place, and and even at that, when I'm dealing with Uber, because again, I don't really do a whole lot of access out here. But anyway, having them make sure they drop me off in the right spot, because if they,
True.
because this actually used to be the end of the line. It's actually like a Amtrak station there as well. Amtrak trains come through there.
Oh,
So
wow.
when I'm telling them, okay, no, I'm getting on the Metrolink, and I believe it or not, Carol, I've had them drop me off at the front door of the Amtrak station, and where I actually need to be is there's a pathway between the parking structure and the Amtrak structure.
Oh, wow.
So I have to, man, be very, very,
Careful.
no, dude, you're in the parking lot, right? He says, yeah, okay. You see that stop sign up in front of you where there's a crosswalk? Yeah, that's where I need to be. I'm
Mm.
not going into nobody's building.
Right, right.
Okay, if you can't look through the buildings and see between the buildings, not through the building, but between the buildings, and see them tracks, I'm not in the right spot.
Right,
Just that simple. But
right, right.
and again, it's I know a lot of towns and stuff, whatever, they don't want to spend the money, whatever, for these audible signals. But wherever you're coming into a transit center, especially like that, these audible signals are necessary. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Walk down the block to the other light and cross
And
over,
then walk up.
and
Uh-huh.
then walk back?
Yeah. But
You
I
know,
still would have to cross the street on the other side. The way that the platform is the the way they put the train in the middle. So traffic goes east and traffic goes north and traffic goes south. So where I originally would get off or walk to the crossing area where I wanted the audible signal, they're going north. If I walk up the block to the light and cross it, I still have to cross going south to get back across to the train, which is in the middle. And there's no way I can do that hearing the traffic. I can't hear the traffic when it's coming because it's in the middle of a light. So people may be turning out of O'Reilly's, or they may be turning out of Walgreens. I won't be able to hear them unless somebody's crossing there with me. And that's where I wanted the audible signals. That way it will
so
let
let
me
me ask
know.
you this, Carol. I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but I'm just inquiring at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Have you actually had O&M training?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because I mean, again, I'm in my training, I became very, very keen, even at, some of these places, what you're talking about. If there's a light and the cars have to stop for that light, I might have to stand there through a couple cycles. But I'm gonna figure out what the cycle is, and I'm gonna determine when, what I'm saying, the cars are on my direction are gonna that I want to go in or moving, unless there just ain't no cars.
Right, right. But what I'm
You know.
saying is, because of the train coming in the middle and the traffic on the other side and the way that it's hollow, you can't hear it. You can't hear when a car is coming until it's right there on you. You have to be there. I
Oh
understand
yeah, I would
exactly
have
what you're
to. I
saying.
would have to.
Yeah,
Again.
you would have to be there, because just trying to listen to cross in that one little area is real difficult.
Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, and
Yeah.
again,
And I've actually had my O&M trainers tell me to not even go that way.
okay. Well, then how in the hell I'm supposed to get on the train?
That's right.
And I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but that's exactly what I told my instructors when they said, "Well, I wouldn't advise that." Okay. Well,
So
how
how
am I
can I get
supposed to
on the
get on?
train
I
other
need to
than
use this
having them
train.
put an audible signal there, you
Right.
know?
I mean, again, I need to use this train. So we need to work this out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I mean, remember when I had them working on me when I was doing my I had a thing I used to do on a regular every Thursday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was riding the bus down there on the main boulevard, and then I had to go so when I would get off, I had to cross this way, then I had to cross that way, and then I had to follow the street down. And then when I got down there to cross over, it was kind of like a curve at the end right there.
Right.
So the street that I want to cross, another it curves around the building where I'm going. You follow what I'm saying? So
I
in other
do.
words, the street I just walked down, it tees into that street, but it tees in right at the curve. So anyway,
Gotcha.
I got to get on the one side of the T and I can cross over. But guess what? Ain't no stop sign. Ain't none of that. I got to cross
Mm.
over all of that.
Right.
Then once I get into the parking lot, I had to trail.
Oh, wow.
I had to trail. I had to move after I came in through the entrance of the parking lot. I had to trail, cross over, and trail the left curb.
Oh, no.
Right?
So you in the street.
No, I'm in the
Oh,
parking
you're on the
lot.
sidewalk, but trailing it. I got
No, no, no. I'm in the parking lot.
you.
I'm in the
You
parking
did
lot.
say parking lot. Right, right,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. So I'm following the curb. I got to follow the curb all the way down, and I got to go around. You know how they have sometimes they have the little islands in the coffin,
Mm-hmm.
where they have a little shrubbery,
Yes.
divide little sections or whatever you want to call it. I got to walk around that, get back down there, follow the curb some more, whoa, 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 till I get down, and then there's a pathway that coming from this other walkway on the other side that lets me know, okay, I'm at the crosswalk now where I can cross over to the building.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then that's when I really had to learn how to develop my skills, Kel, because it's actually was my church. Okay.
Right,
So when
right.
I come across that last crosswalk right there, I'm at the youth gym. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now once I get to the end of that, I'm at the courtyard of the facility. Well,
Gotcha.
the class where I'm going is on the other side of the courtyard. Okay. And there
Mm-hmm.
ain't nothing to trail.
Oh, wow.
Girl, I had to learn how to follow the seam in the sidewalk.
Mm-mm.
But I got it figured
But
out.
you got it figured out. Right,
Once I
right.
get to the other side, I can grab that grass and follow it in the direction I want to go. And, woo, I would make it. And I'd be there before anybody else, you know.
Right, of course.
So, but again, it was, and then I would amaze them. When they'd come in, I'd already had a room set up for our Bible study.
And they're like,
You
how in the
you
world?
know, you know,
Right. Well,
hey, I,
I'm a cheater, Ed. So, there's a Dollar Tree up the street, a Family Dollar, different little places, green. So when I'm walking up there, and I need to cross in between where the train is to get to the other side to the Dollar Tree, I just utilize visual people. Hey,
Well,
anybody out here?
well, now you got to be my eyes as well. I
Yeah,
mean, not
that's
that
true. I
you
have
want
Be
to
My
fully
Eyes. I got
depend
my
on
Meta
them,
Ray
but
bands. Yeah.
if there's nobody around, rather than standing there waiting 20, 30 minutes for somebody to come up,
And I've called to volunteer. I have.
So anyway, we're going to move into this next. I got to get on the, the promos.
It's all good. We
I
doing this
forgot
on
I
this
didn't have
magnificent
Pedro with
Monday.
me this morning.
Miss him.
There we go.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Hey, coffee time crew, we got something new. Support the mission and look fresh too. Fresh rock that blue with the logo in white. Blind United shirts, yeah, they feeling right. Just 20 to hand and you're part of the cause. Helping blind folks level up, no pause calls. From Jaws with Andy to Hall Ace tips. Support group love and crochet kits. Movie nights rolling, the vibes are lit. Every shirt you buy helps all of it. So cop that tee, be proud to wear. You're lifting up lives with every pair. Email us now, don't let it slide. Info@BlindUnited or join the pride.
All right. Well, I actually forgot to mention, we are in the final hours of our Double Good Popcorn fundraiser. So, again, please, run to our Facebook page or whatever, it's there. If you're on the email list, it's there, So, again, we could really use your help with that. Again, we're just trying to make this happen for all y'all and make sure that we don't have to get into some sort of a paywall to be able to provide all of this stuff. So it ain't free. So we're just doing the best we can with it. So this next article here is about, any of us in the community, right? We've heard this, people got all these myths. I even had some of these myths in my head before I lost my sight, not understanding the community, not knowing, not ever meeting another blind person before I lost my sight, So again, I was clueless, right? So again, this one here is about some of the myths. So we're just going to run this. So we can just run some of them and see if they got enough of them in there. We can compare notes on how many ones, which ones that we know that they didn't talk about on this article. Check this out.
Hey, Blind United crew, grab your second cup as the Coffee Time crew gets into this second article. Busting the myths. What society gets wrong about blindness? Blindness is often misunderstood, and those misunderstandings can lead to stereotypes that limit opportunity, independence, and inclusion. Today, the Coffee Time crew is diving into the myths that surround blindness and setting the record straight. One of the most common misconceptions is that all blind people see total darkness. In reality, blindness exists on a spectrum. Many individuals who are legally blind still have some usable vision, whether it's light perception, blurry shapes, or peripheral sight. The idea that blindness is either full sight or complete darkness is simply inaccurate. Another myth is that blind people have superhuman senses, especially hearing. While many blind individuals rely more heavily on their other senses, this doesn't mean those senses are biologically enhanced. It's about adaptation and focus, not superpowers. Technology is another area where myths persist. Some people believe blind individuals can't use computers or smartphones. In truth, many blind users are highly tech-savvy, using screen readers, voice commands, and accessibility features to navigate digital spaces with ease. From JAWS and NVIDIA to VoiceOver on iPhones, technology is a powerful tool for independence. Guide dogs are often misunderstood too. Some assume guide dogs know where to go and when to cross the street. In reality, the handler gives commands and listens to traffic cues. The dog's role is to follow instructions and practice intelligent disobedience when danger is present. There's also a harmful belief that blind people can't be independent. This stereotype ignores the reality that many blind individuals live full, active lives, traveling, working, parenting, and pursuing hobbies. Independence is not defined by sight, but by access, training, and opportunity. Visual language can be a point of confusion. Some people avoid saying, "see you later," or "look at this," around blind individuals. But most blind people use and understand visual language just like anyone else. Avoiding these phrases can actually make conversations more awkward. Another myth is that blind people don't care about appearance or fashion. In truth, many blind individuals take pride in their style and use tools like color identifiers, apps, and tactile methods to coordinate outfits and grooming. Finally, there's the assumption that blind people are constantly seeking a cure. While some may hope for medical advancements, many embrace blindness as part of their identity and focus on living fully rather than waiting for change. These myths don't just misinform, they shape how society treats blind individuals. By challenging them, we open the door to greater understanding, inclusion, and respect. What myths have you heard about blindness? Which ones surprised you the most? Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the crumbs fell off the table, I guess. I mean, as an example, I mean, I'm totally blind, but I mean, I'm not in darkness. I mean, that's the way I see it anyway. I mean, I almost explain it this way because I've had vision, my brain is creating images for me to see. I mean, I know that they're not reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's not like I'm just sitting in total darkness, right? I mean, I get like a black braid kind of thing going on, where it's almost sometimes it's like clouds, but you know what I'm saying? The separation of the colors sometimes gets into different shapes where it makes up images.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, just like remember you ever used to lay on your back when you was a kid and look up at the clouds and, oh, that looks like an elephant. And, oh, that would look like a horse, you know, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when certain things happen, you know, like, a sudden rush of energy or whatever, I actually get color flashes, you know, different little stuff like that. So, no, I'm not just sitting in the total darkness, you know. Now, as far as, you know, us being independent, most of the folks I know are independent. The ones that I know that are not independent, is because their parents are dealing with these myths that we're discussing and are not allowing them to do what they could do. They're not sending them to get training and stuff like. I know guys and females, you know, people that went to the training center with me. They learned everything I learned, but then they ended up going back home to their sheltered people, and they parked them in the corner, you know, and that's where they live their life, you know. I can't live that way. No, no, no. We are very, very independent. Fashion, yeah. I mean, I know people that are really on it. I'm not as fashion, you know. I mean, again, I'm not finna walk out of the house looking like a clown, but you know,
Right.
I mean, I do know what I have on. You know what I'm saying? We have the tools to know exactly what we're wearing, right? I mean, and then I make my fashion statements with what? I make my fashion statements with my canes. Okay, they're a symbol of me embracing my blindness, right? And being different. I don't want to be like everybody else carrying a white cane with a red tip. You know, I should say the majority of folks with a white cane and a red tip. It's not a law here. The cane is still got reflective material on it, so at night it does reflect the light. So it's not like I'm not breaking any law, and I'm still, trying to adhere to some sort of safety, right? But again, I'm out there doing me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to live my best life. So don't buy into the hype. That's all I can say,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
I
So
mean, I
anyway,
hear you on that, Ed. I mean, you know, it was a whole lot of myths for me before I actually became blind. And, I became blind totally in 2021. But like you, I had vision and I do not see total darkness. I mean, as we speak, it's like something's moving towards me. It's dark at the bottom, light at the top, and kind of like a little grayish in the corner. And sometimes I see color. But the weird thing is it's the Pepsi icon. It's like red with the white in the middle and the blue on the other end, like in a
boy,
circle. It's weird how it happens. But I just
I
embrace
actually have a cane, Carol. I actually described one of the images I get.
hmm
I described it to Jimmy,
right.
and he created a rap, and I got a cane with that on it.
No.
Okay,
That's
people
awesome.
people say, "Man, what is that? Well, that's a crazy pattern." I said, "Man, that's what I see when
I see almost like
uh,
a checkerboard sometimes. It's like in
sometimes."
yeah, isn't that weird?
I mean, again, our
Yeah.
mind is seeing things, so it
hmm
it just reproduces stuff. I
It
mean, sometimes
does.
it looks like I'm at the bottom of the ocean with some seaweed waving in the air,
Right,
or I
right.
should say,
It's
flowing.
imaginative,
Yeah,
it really, really is. But
right.
one of the myths I did not hear them say, most people don't think that blind people can cook. Most people don't think that blind people can raise children. It's funny, my visual cousin, she said, cousin, how do you cut your vegetables and stuff without cutting your hand? And I was like, I know where I can't cut nothing without without looking at it. And I say, didn't you just tell me you cut yourself the other day? And she said, yeah. I say, so you mean to tell me that you actually saw the knife come down on your hand and you still cut it? So it's just a myth that they don't think that we can use sharp utensils.
Right,
They
right,
don't
right,
think we
right.
can shoot. I still can shoot.
I mean, again, I can cook. I prefer not to cook, one crazy, cook a full meal or whatever. Some people still do.
I
Just
do.
not
I live
me.
alone, so I
Uh,
gotta eat. I still
Well, I
want
mean,
my
I eat. Don't
chili
get me wrong.
beans and
Just I get
greens and
stuff that's. I just prefer to grab stuff that's simple. Something I can throw in my air fryer. I can throw in my microwave. Or, not that I don't. I'm scared of the stove or whatever. I just ain't trying to spend all that time in the kitchen no more. I just want to get my stuff and get the hell up out of there and get back to whatever else I was doing.
no,
So,
you make it a play. You turn on some music,
uh,
burn some
uh,
incense if you want to, and just the preparation of putting it together, and you can taste it before it's
well,
done. I just love that. That's something I love doing. And I live alone and it's cheaper, but it's easier for me to just purchase something outside, but sometimes they just don't make it like I want it,
well, see,
especially my
plus,
cabbage and my greens and my beans.
I done got to a point where, again, all of that is too much to make a single serving. You know what I'm saying? And
No,
and I'm and I done got away from leftovers, right? Like I mean, one of the main things I like to do is, I did have my main dish that everybody else want me to make is a pot of chili, you know,
ooh,
which I love my chili. I'll go in there and I'll spend time making it and getting it all hooked up or whatever. But I cannot sit there and eat it day after day after day. You know what I'm saying?
what?
Once I get my bowl that night, I'm pretty good. I mean, now doing it if I was doing it for myself, okay, cook it, got my bowl that night, and then once it chills down, now I put it in Ziplocs and freeze it.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Right,
I got a
right.
serving. Now whenever I want a bowl of chili, I can just go in there and grab a bag and throw in the microwave.
That's
You know what
smart.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
smart.
but like you say, if you were to fry up a chicken, right? I'm not finna
Mm.
sit there and eat chicken 2-3 days in a row, I got to be able to put it to the side. I can't do it 2-3 days in a row. It's just not gonna happen.
Right, right, right,
So
right,
I just
right.
I just prefer not to do it that way. If
Well,
I
see,
want,
some things I will, like chili, it gets better each day. That it's left over.
well, most people
Spaghetti.
don't realize you're not supposed to eat chili the same day you cook it.
What?
No, you're
Well,
supposed to
see,
cook
you
it.
telling me something, and I'm from old school.
Yeah, you're not supposed to cook it. You're supposed to actually, eat it. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong,
Right,
but
right.
it's much better if you cook it today and then serve it tomorrow, because
Mm,
now you've given the chili time to soak into the meat.
gotcha.
When you go in there and cook it and you put it all together and eat it a couple hours later, it ain't always all the way soaked through all the meat yet, depending on how
Gotcha.
much meat you got in there. I like a meaty chili.
Right, right, right. Me too.
So again, mine is always better. And then, you know, again, bag it up and serve it and put it in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? That way it stayed the way it was, So,
Hmm.
uh,
Oh, you
I mean,
just taught me something for real.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
again, that's always been my thing, Carol. Whenever I'm doing chili for somebody, I
Mm-hmm.
there, in the evening time, later on in the evening, I'll cook it up and then I'll just, let it sit there and simmer, in the crock pot for a couple hours.
Right.
And then I can just go in there and turn it off. But when I turn it off, I literally pull it out of the crock pot itself. I mean, the pot out of the warmer thing
Right, right.
and set it to the side. I set it over on the grill. That way it's got air hitting it all the way around. I let it chill.
And let it chill itself. Mm-hmm.
Once it gets down to room temperature, then I'll slide it in the ice box until tomorrow. And, when I'm getting ready to serve it, like an hour or so before I'm getting ready to serve it, I'll drop it back into the heating element and fire it back up.
Wow. That's smart though. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it's
you
just,
taught me something.
I mean, that's just the way I've been doing it, so, but I mean, again, this is, people don't believe that we can do what we do. And this
True.
is why, I mean, again, we're trying to create awareness. We're trying to, let people know that no, we're not just a bunch of helpless folks. I mean, we do a lot. We can do more if you would just get out of our way and let us do it. Number one. Number two, when we talking about with you and having access to the train station where you at, you give us the tools we need. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's
Give
right.
us that audible signal. You know what I'm saying? Different little stuff like that. Again, people believe guide dogs are, oh no, well, the guide dog is telling them when to walk. No, the only thing the guide dog is going to do is keep them from walking out in the middle of the street and some cars are coming.
Right.
Now, if it's clear, you the one that says when to go. But that dog is paying attention to when you try to go. If there's cars moving, that dog is going to jump in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, different stuff like that. If there's maybe they done dug a trench in the middle of the sidewalk or something, there's a danger there, whatever, the dog will stop you. It won't let you walk into that, stuff like that. So again, there's a good tool, right? But
Right.
again, they are, you can't just come out the house and say, okay, take me to May Company.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen.
No, it don't have a automatic GPS in the dog.
I mean, actually, I've never had a guide dog, but most of the folks I know that had them, they said that bottom line, most of these schools, you must have good O&M skills before they'll even let you apply for a dog. It's just
Okay.
that simple. So anyway, we're right at the end of this one.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah, you taught me a lot
Uh,
about the chili and the guide dog. I've thought about it, but I kind of like my independence.
right. Well, I mean, I love my independence as well. Sometimes my kids they get on me about that.
Right, right.
You know, Daddy,
Well, another myth
yeah.
is they think that, we're vulnerable targets, and we know how to defend ourselves. Not saying we put ourselves out there, but we know how to be safe when we're traveling alone.
Well, I mean, again, what would you rather? I need you to come wipe my butt for me, I mean, come on now.
Right.
Let me do what I can do. If I can't do it, I'll let you know.
That's right.
But anyway, we're going to a couple more of these promos before we get into this last article. So here we go. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
Have you ever wondered what it's really like to be blind? Ever wanted to ask questions but held back, afraid of offending? Blind United invites you to replace that fear with fun, learning and connection at our 4th annual walk. A mile in my shoes challenge. Join us Saturday, October 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Wayfinder Family Services, 50 Angeles, Vista Boulevard, Los Angeles. Experience everyday attacks blindfolded, like pouring a cup of water. Try assistive technology like screen reader computers and iPhones. Get a hands-on braille lesson and discover how independence is built every day. Smile, laugh, and learn alongside the blind community. No pressure, just pleasure. Help us build bridges, close gaps, and make connections. Walk a mile in my shoes and see the world in a whole new way.
All right. Well, I mean, that's I guess I got planned it this way, right? So this next article is titled Creating Change by Creating Awareness, which is basically what our walk a mile is. You know what I'm saying? All of these things that we were talking about, all these myths, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, the things that we need at the transit centers and all that kind of stuff. Again, that's creating awareness, or creating change by creating the awareness that we need these kind of things. And when you walk into a city council meeting or whatever the case may be, right? And we sit there and we want to tell them, okay, well, we need an audible signal here. Well, they don't understand why. Because they've never walked a mile in my shoes. They don't know what my life is like. They don't know what our life is like. You know what I'm saying? So we created this walk a mile as a way to, number one, again, I've invited, I don't know how many of these actual legislators are actually going to show up, whatever. I mean, but at least they can't say that I didn't try to create the awareness with them. But more personally, this is an opportunity for my people in the community that live here in Southern California. Grab that family member that keeps leaving them cabinets open. You know what I'm saying? Grab that friend that keeps moving your stuff around. You know what I'm saying? All of these different kind of things that, whatever, that they just don't get it, right? No matter how many times you try to tell them, they just don't get it. So let me show you how we do it.
Hey BlindUnited crew, grab your third cup as the Coffee Time crew gets into this third article. Creating change by creating awareness. How one challenge can shift perspectives. Change doesn't always begin with policy. It often starts with understanding. And understanding begins with awareness. That's the heart of BlindUnited's upcoming Walk a Mile in My Shoes challenge, an event designed not just to educate, but to transform how sighted individuals view blindness and the daily experiences of the blind and visually impaired community. Scheduled for October 11th, 2025 at Wayfinder Family Services in Los Angeles, this challenge invites sighted participants to step into the shoes of someone who is blind. But it's not just a symbolic walk, it's a full immersion into the realities of living without sight. Participants will wear sleep shades and use mobility canes to navigate a guided outdoor path, but that's just one part of the experience. Before the walk, sighted guests will take on a series of hands-on challenges, preparing a snack using independent living skills, ILS, using a computer with a screen reader, navigating an iPhone with voiceover, and even reading Braille. These tasks are designed to simulate the learning curve and adaptations blind individuals master every day. The goal isn't to overwhelm, it's to enlighten. When sighted participants struggle to complete these tasks, they begin to understand the importance of accessibility, training, and community support. They see firsthand how much effort goes into what many take for granted, and that awareness can lead to real change. Events like this do more than educate, they inspire advocacy. When someone walks away from the challenge with a new perspective, they're more likely to support inclusive policies, push for accessible design, and speak up when they see inequality. Awareness becomes action. The event also includes vendors, lunch, and free event t-shirts for sighted participants who complete the challenge. Members of the blind and visually impaired community are encouraged to bring a sighted friend or family member to participate. It's a shared experience that builds empathy and connection. Registration closes October 4th, 2025, and spots are filling fast. The impact of this event will ripple far beyond the gates of Wayfinder. It will reach homes, workplaces, and communities where change is needed most. Creating awareness isn't just a goal, it's a strategy. And BlindUnited is proving that when people understand, they act. That's how we build a more inclusive world, one challenge, one conversation, one step at a time. Have you ever seen someone's perspective shift after learning about blindness? What kind of outreach do you think makes the biggest impact? Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I mean, again, because this is technically, me and my co-founder's fourth time doing this. Yes, I've seen that change. I've seen people walk in the door with one attitude and walk out with a whole nother attitude. I've seen people that really didn't care, transform into somebody, well, man, what can I do to help? All of these kind of things, So again, that's what needed at this point. I've always said that if we only had awareness of each other, and that don't mean whether, just because we're disabled. I mean, me as a white man, Shaquille, you as a black female, me as a heterosexual, you as, somebody from the community. You know what I'm saying? It's all, if we only had awareness of each other, right?
Right.
And it's the full spectrum. I'm not, of course, I'm pointing out you and I, but again, it goes across the board.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody has autism, or maybe somebody has something else. Somebody's got some other kind of thing going on.
Dyslexia, or
whatever the case may be. Even some sort of an illness. It's not, let's say, life-threatening or whatever, but it affects their daily life, right? If we have that kind of understanding, then we're going to be much better off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is about, trying to create that awareness, trying to create that understanding. You know what I'm saying? That way, when you walk into the kitchen, you live with your family, you walk in there, you know what? They know your cup is right where you left it. You know what I'm saying? You like to cook. Okay, girl, you got it made, baby, because you in that house by yourself. You ain't got to worry about nobody moving your stuff around.
Right,
You
right,
understand what I'm saying?
right.
Me, I got to deal with that every day. I got my daughter and I got two grandkids up in this house.
Wow.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I just had to let them know. You know what? This corner right here, don't touch nothing in this corner. This is my stuff over here. Don't move my stuff. Whatever's in this cabinet. I mean, I'm not saying you got to put it back on the same exact shelf where it was, but don't move it out of this cabinet.
Right, right,
You know what I'm saying? Because I've identified the shapes of all of these things, and I know, I'll find it in the cabinet as long as it's in the cabinet. Well, what's gonna make me mad is if I'm feeling around in the cabinet and it ain't there, and then I find it down on the other end of the counter somewhere.
right.
Okay, hold on. Well, didn't I tell you to put this, leave this in my cabinet? I mean, they just don't get it. You know, so again, this, and it sounds funny, right? Because I'm doing this and I got family members that still just don't get it. So, I mean, a couple of them do, one of them doesn't. But guess what? He's going to take that challenge again this year. Last time he took it, he was really, really young, and maybe it didn't sink in. But it's going to sink in this time. So again, grab your family, friends, and family, whatever that that need to be educated, right? Uh, Again, there's going to be other activities there. Like I said, we're going to have vendors, we're going to have lunch, we're going to have stuff like that. But there'll also be, opportunity for you to speak to folks from the community, and hey, settle what's you may have a misconception about us. As long as you're not asking me no stupid question about like how I wipe my butt, then I mean we can have any conversation you want. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's what this is also about. So anyway, I mean, have you been able to teach anybody anything down there, Carol?
The only person that seems to really be understanding more so is my cousin. Now she actually drives for what you all call access is DART paratransit down here. And, going through the training, they have someone ride along with them. And she said, I should have been paying more attention to you because when, I ride with her, and it's just different little things that I tell her that she is just not paying attention to. And, now she's having to be more aware, you know. I am blessed to live alone, but I do have, company. People come over, we sit, laugh, eat, listen to music, whatever we do. And I try to tell them, I keep my remotes in certain places, this, that, or the other. So I stress to them, do not move, anything, even if it don't look like it belongs there. And if you do need to move it, please let me know where you're moving it. Because if I call you later on, you won't recall. You sitting over here, trying to chill out and have your little drink or two, and you'll forget where you put it. And I thank God I do have AI technology to where I could just ask my Ray-Bans, do you see this remote control on the couch or on the coffee table or whatever? But just the fact of them not paying attention to little things that I constantly have to remind them of, what you all are doing out there. And I'm sure they'll have something here, but probably not to the extent of what you all are having. Makes me want to purchase a ticket to come to California, because it sounds like it's, something that's needed, because individuals just, they forget, and like I said, my cousin is more appreciative, more, impressed, even though I think that's not the right word that she should probably use, because I'm just living my best life. But people just take things for granted. And sometimes little things like that just remind us that we're no different. We just do things different. And sometimes communicating with one another to let each other know what our needs are is
Right.
exceptional if you pay attention. And sometimes experiencing that will help them recognize that a little bit better.
I mean, I hear you. I mean, and I guess also I was kind of, blessed to have, certain number of friends, I should say,
Right.
again, once I lost my sight, became legally blind, I mean, a lot of my friends fell off to the wayside,
Mine
uh,
too.
uh, I mean, it's just stuff that happened, right? But as because I wasn't total at that time, I was able, it took me a couple of years to get back up on my feet and start functioning again. And then I showed them, okay, look, okay, I'm legally blind now, but I'm still out there doing what I'm doing. Matter of fact, I'm doing the same thing you doing. You know what I'm
Right.
so, but then as time went on and my vision faded away, some of my friends faded away as well.
Yeah.
Some of them didn't want to be, there and have to deal with me when I needed help. I mean, like when I came out this way, when I first moved out this way, I used to drive and I would drive all the way back into the city and go hang out, whatever. But then once my vision faded away and I quit driving, okay, now that's when I started doing the train, right? So, I
Right.
mean, again, not everybody would pick me up at the train station. Not everybody would be willing to take me back to the train station. Luckily I had a couple of folks that they had no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? They were just happy to see me. I'm coming, I'm hanging out, and I'm adapting to my situation. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. I mean, even now that I'm total, I still got some friends, man. Ed, if we knew you was gonna be all right. You was gonna deal with it because you're not the type of person to just sit down in the corner and just, not do nothing, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and again, and that's and I try to encourage others to, don't let life beat you up. You can still have a quality of life. I mean, it may not be as the same quality you had with when you had sight, but again, you can still have quality of life. I mean, what's my biggest thing right now, Carol? I'm being honest. Number one, as far as abilities,
Right.
being able to function, in everyday life. I wish I could still drive. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
but on the flip side of it, the one that just really hurts me the most, I got grandkids I ain't never seen. You know,
Right. Right.
and now I got great grandbabies. That
Yeah.
I'll never see. I'll never see them little, little twinkle in their eye and, the little drool coming out the corner of their mouth. Or, you
Right.
know, all of these different, just identifying, oh, well, that feature there, that looks like your grandma, whatever. Different things like that. I just won't be able to see all of that.
Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
spend time with them, you know. Last time I was down in Florida, I went me and my grandkids, we went to Disney water theme parks. Okay. And
Right.
we was all over them slides. Okay. Grandpa, you fun.
Right.
Man, come on. I love this now. I ain't got to worry about losing my vision. I mean, because I had to quit riding roller coasters and stuff for a while when I was still sighted.
Right. Right.
I couldn't deal with the acceleration of the rides and stuff like that. I didn't want to put that strain on my retina. But once my
Right.
vision went away, shit, where's it? Would it put me in line? I need to get on a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? These water
Yeah.
slides, it's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Of course.
So, but anyway, no, I mean, again, so we'll be doing this walk a mile coming up on October the 11th. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that's out this way, grab that family member, grab that friend, whatever, bring them out there. Let's educate them. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn this into a lot of fun, right? Like we said, no pressure, just pleasure.
Right.
We're not trying to, humiliate anybody or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's all in fun just to create that awareness. So anyway, we at the end of this show for the Monday. And again, we don't have any interest groups tonight, but as always in closing, I do please like, subscribe, share, follow, all that kind of good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let like I said, it all helps us to help us get get the word out and get it out to more and more people. I mean, if you guys didn't ever do any of that, it'd probably be just you and I sitting there listening to ourselves. I don't know. But I
Right,
mean,
right.
we are growing slowly. But again, sometimes, people don't recognize a good thing until, it might be gone. Who knows? You never
That's
know
true.
what time is going to bring to us.
That's
So,
true. That's true. And
but
don't forget, you got a few hours if you want to get hold to some of that popcorn now.
please do.
Double
Please do.
good
We can really
popcorn.
use it. You got till noon Pacific time. Okay. Noon Pacific time. So that gives you a couple more hours out on this end. So anyway, thank y'all for everything. Carol, as always, I appreciate you, sweetheart.
Appreciate you, Ed.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.